Hello everyone, welcome back to Sports Khabri, Arun Foot, and it's been a while, but Indian food and football shines back. It's great to have you back, Shine, and
Thank you.
yep, like always, Arnav was here. Hiren unfortunately unable to join us today, but the agenda for the day is discussing the Indian men's national team ahead of their two games against Afghanistan. Of course, we'll talk about the first because to make our Predicted 11. We'll discuss who should be in there, who shouldn't. That's going to be fun. Then we'll also discuss the under 23s. That's pretty much it. Shan, how are you doing? Welcome back. And yeah, how is it going?
It has been doing. I've been doing great. Bhai, in personal life also, it's good. But there has been some issues with the work also. Work pressure is too much, so that I was not able to join you guys of late. But I've been listening to the discussions where you have discussed about many good topics about Indian football. So I'm here back again because India is playing tomorrow a very important game against Afghanistan. And I hope that we'll go to the third round after winning the back-to-back games against Afghanistan. Because these two games we are make or break for us. If we fumble over here, it will be very, very difficult for us. So I'm back, bhai. I hope that we have a great discussion today.
Yeah, I know. I think Shan mentioned something important right off the bat that we can't afford to fumble here. These 6 points are so crucial for us. How do you see this one going, Anwar, before we start diving into the starting 11?
Well, good evening, everyone. Once more, to me, I think 6 points. Period. In these next two games, we need it so that we can keep the pressure on Kuwait, and because on the other side, of course, Kuwait face Qatar in their next two games. So therefore, we need to do our job. Don't bother about what Kuwait or what the others are doing, and then let's see where we can take this, because I think for India, third round qualification is everything that we're playing for in these World Cup qualifiers at the moment. You're on mute.
Sorry, guys. It is. There's a lot to play for, Shan, and we'll start discussing the lineup now. We'll straight away with the keepers. Any doubt in your mind, Shan, that anybody who could replace Gurpreet, or is it sure shot? The big man is in goal.
I think he will go with Gurpreet. I think Igor will go with Gurpreet. I think he will not take chances. Of late, Vishal Kait has been in good form, but I think Gurpreet will start tomorrow. I think I see no changes there. He has some plan. He has got. He will get. He has a big worry right now because Sahal is also not playing. So few positions he will be in doubt, but Sandesh Jingan is not available. But I think team is in a good shape. I hope that we'll do better tomorrow. At least beat Afghanistan. It will be tough for us. Afghanistan with their players who are playing abroad also, they are also over here. Mainly, majority of the players are not have not come for this game. But what I've heard, Ashley Westwood knows Indian football in and out, and Onawada will be knowing that he was with Roundless Punjab when Onawada was there. So that time he has a very good understanding about Indian football. He was with your club Bengaluru FC when he started off in Indian football. Then he was in a tenure with ATK. So he has a good knowledge, 8-9 years of experience of Indian football. So we understand he understands Indian football better. So he will make it difficult for us. I think the venue also they have found this venue in Saudi Arabia. It was they have planned it well against us. So I will. It would be interesting to see how they do over there because it is a away fixture for them also. It's a neutralized venue. So
Yep.
is the venue turns out to be difficult. What I've heard from players it is very difficult over there when they have reached. I texted Igor and he said that it's very difficult here because the altitude level is quite high and our players are not used to playing over there. It's very difficult in that way. But they've got this time, 4 or 5 days of time to get acclimatized to that condition. I hope that tomorrow team will do better. Onawada, what your take on the Ashley Wedgwood's? You have watched him closely. How you rate him as a coach and as an Afghanistan? He's leading Afghanistan as a coach. So what do you think? Expect Ashley Wedgwood's team tomorrow?
So one correction: I was not with Round Glass when Ashley Westwood came to the club. So he came after I had left
Oh,
the
okay.
club. But I've known Ashley since his days with BFC. We've also been experts on a TV channel for a couple of World Cups, also, especially 2014 Germany won. So that was a fun one for me against him. But jokes apart, he knows Indian football very, very well. So for me, he is someone who knows, who understands things very well in an Indian football context. You also know that he's worked with Sunil, with some of the other boys as well in the past at BFC. Despite all the problems that Afghanistan have, with still a lot of their sort of first 11 players not coming back, or squad players not coming back because of allegation against the AFF in regard to corruption and also mismanagement of the federation, that still some players have come back, and that they've been able to bring in some new talent. The Afghans have one big advantage, which they're banking on all the while, is that they can go around the world and pick up some players here and there and bring them into the national team setup, but still whoever they're bringing, and with all the problems, the last World Cup qualifiers, we drew Afghanistan twice. So for me, most important thing is we need to win these two games, and it doesn't matter how. We need to get those 6 points to have a little bit of an easier game against Kuwait, because you never know. Maybe Kuwait can spring a surprise against Qatar or something of the sorts, and that then suddenly puts a lot of pressure on the June window for us.
Yep, absolutely. And somebody else saying the same thing. It doesn't matter how we play, just get the 6 points. Very important. Anu just mentioned it as well. Guys, pre-match press conference. What's
one question? Sunil was at the press conference. So does it mean that Sunil doesn't play tomorrow? I'm just putting out a question.
No, Annaman, honestly, I take it seriously now. I take it seriously that Igor does it. And it's we've joked about it in the past, but he's actually done it every single time. He's stayed true to that theory. But we'll get to the forward.
But he did. Didn't he take Sunil to the last press conference in the Asian Cup? Why am I wrong?
Last game.
I think it was Amrinder who was there for.
No, but sorry. One of the games he took someone to the press conference who played. Was it Sunil or was it Sandesh? I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm just, again, guys in the chat. Maybe
one of the games, correct.
One of the games. So therefore, he did break that jinx. So we don't know. Okay. So again, let's see. Again, sorry. Yeah. No.
There's a nice conversation to have. Shan, I think this is where it gets tricky, which is the back four. What's the back four for you looking like?
See, I what I know, he'll go with Anwar centre back, Anwar and Rahul Beke, Nikhil Pujari and Akash Mishra. I think this would be his back four, according to me.
I know there's no shout for Amer Anawadi, who's impressed a lot in the ISL.
No. Jay Gupta for me has no chance, to be very honest, because I think be it Akash or be it Subhashish, both of them have played quite well this season. Let's be very, very clear. And Nikhil Pujari has been one of his favorites, so I don't see him dropping. And I think he'll go with a little bit more of an attacking mindset into this game. So that means that I would put Akash ahead of Subhashish. If I was going in a little bit more defensive mode, I would have put Subhashish ahead of Akash. So therefore, I agree with Shayan. That's the back four that I think he'll choose.
Yep, Shayan, before we move on, I think you guys have pretty much stated the back four, but before we move on to midfield, do you think anything less than 6 points, what happens to the coach? You think he stays or?
Just give me 1 minute, Rahul. I'll be back. Just give me 1 minute.
Okay. Yeah. I know. Then just moving the same question to you. Anything less than 6 points, what happens to the coach?
I've been asking that question for a while, and we could have had that conversation, and we did have that conversation after the Asian Cup as well. To me, it's 6 points is a must, but again, you are not willing to do something and change something, right? The FF didn't do it. A lot of federation was going through, yesterday the Asian Football Confederation on its website had an article in regard to new coaches coming into a number of national teams post Asian Cup. And therefore now we are in the situation we are in. We'll have to see what we can do, and then hopefully the coach and the players are able to get a result. So for me, for Igor, it's an important thing. Also, with things happening in and around the AFF again, with the Supreme Court now also involved, there are interesting times ahead of what happened or what does not happen.
True. Shan, have you heard about Sahal's injury, and if so, what does it look like?
Yesterday, what I heard was he got an injury while he was training. It is basically a hamstring injury, what I've heard. So let us give us 24 hours more time to understand what is the case. We don't know actually currently what is the status of his injury. By tomorrow, I think we can tell it in a better way, because currently status. But tomorrow he's not playing. This is for sure.
Yeah. And without Sahal, it becomes interesting to discuss the midfield, guys. I know who is there in your midfield three.
For me, a given are Apuya and Deepak Tangri, especially with the way Tangri has played over the last few weeks in the ISL. He gets a start. So to me is I think that's a very crucial thing to have. And then we'll have to see who we do. I mean, how we built it, because I would be thinking of a little bit of more of an attacking unit, which means that actually sort of Tangri is the clear 6 and maybe Apuya plays a 6 and an 8. So therefore, I would have said, in an ideal case scenario, if I create my front three, which is Vikram, Manvir as a central striker and Changte on the left, and I use Sunil as my 10, what we did against Kuwait, and it worked for us. Maybe that is the situation, because then I can interswitch between the players. So that will be interesting to see that how they sort of build up the whole thing.
Yep. So just again for clarity, your midfield three: Deepak Tangri, Apuya,
and Sunil. By middle three in the sense I'm playing a 4-2-3-1. So therefore, the back line was clear. Apuya and Deepak are my sort of destructive elements, with Apuya hopefully bringing in some creativity, and then I put a 3 in front and then a lone striker.
Yeah, understood. It's a very interesting choice, because we've spoken about it in the past, and I've actually given my opinion on that as well. I like Sunil Chhetri in that role. Weirdly, he does a good job in linking the play from defense to attack. But Shayan, what's your midfield three looking like?
What I feel is that I will go with Changte. I think most likely Changte, Manvid, most likely. I don't think he will play with Sunil up front. I'm very much sure that he will go with Sunil only. Jixon Singh and Apuya would be his two CDM position. CDM 4-2-3-1 is his preferred playing style. So I think Apuya and Jixon will be there, and with Manveer, Changte, and now what I'm hearing, Sahal is not available. I think he would go with Vikram Pratap. What I'm hearing, I'm interested to see where he plays Vikram Pratap right now, because it's very difficult. Brandon can be, Vishnu is correct. Vishnu is correct. Why not Brandon? But what I'm hearing, Vikram Pratap would get look. What I'm hearing.
Yeah, Anurag also suggesting Sunil Chhetri as a number 10. I completely agree. Actually, I mean, for me, it would be a little different. I would actually have. I think Apuya is the one who just cannot be dropped, and alongside him, I think Suresh starts. I've just seen him for BFC. I know he's had that stupid red card in the last game, but apart from that, he's been brilliant. I think he's been one of those. Weirdly, his passing, I feel like, has improved as the season's gone on, and because we've seen him so closely, I think, he would do well next to Apuya. And we saw that. I think in the first game they partnered each other in midfield as well, and they did pretty well. So in the AFC Asian Cup, so that would be my two in defensive midfield, and ahead of them Sunil Chhetri. I think that really the number 10 role suits him, and that allows you to play another forward, and you can try some fun stuff up top. I don't know, what about Brandon? Because Shine also mentioned that Brandon's, of course, the like for like replacement, if you look at it that way, for Sahal. But does he get into this team?
At the start, no. He's a good sub. The problem with a lot of these players, Sahal was part of it, Brandon, Jeekson falls into that bracket as well. Anirudh Thapa falls into that bracket. These guys have had injuries and they sort of not really picked up after the injuries. That's the difference, for example, with the Deepak Tangri. Deepak Tangri has come back much, much better after the injury. So, so therefore, for me, Brandon doesn't make it into the starting 11.
I agree. I think, unfortunately, as harsh as it is on him, I don't think he makes it as well. The front threes again, it's a lot of fun.
One thing,
There's a lot of
Arunavada,
debate. Yeah, sure.
Rahul, I want to add one thing. One thing Arunavada correctly mentioned, one big problem is that Brandon, without the set piece, no, with the ball, is a very difficult, but it's a big ask from him. His contribution in set pieces is good, but with the ball for 90 minutes, I think it's a big ask to replace Sahal Abdul Samad. What I understand, what I've heard from his coaches who have coached him in the national team. So that's again a thing we should consider while we make our playing 11.
Yep, absolutely. And guys, we'll moving on to the front three. I think there's so many choices. We're spoiled for choices. I think when it comes to our forwards and wingers. Anurag, before that, Anurag saying Suresh Napuya 6 and 8s and Thapa starts of Sals. What about Thapa? Because somewhere he's lost in this conversation from almost a sure shot starter to somebody where we have none of us mentioned Anirudh Thapa. Where is he as a player today, Shan? Because nobody mentioned Anirudh Thapa until Anurag just brought him up.
Actually, Anirudh Thapa's performance graph, if you see, it has always been for last 2 years. If you assess it properly, last year with Chennai FC and this year with Mohun Bagan, it has been not so great. His graph as a player has been going down. What I've seen in 2019, in 2018 or 20, when he was playing till 19. I remember when he played in Asian Cup 2019, the form which he was in, and currently where he lies. I think he's basically has becoming like Udanta. He's again a prime example. His performance is dipping very badly. I think Thapa needs to up his game to look to get into the national team playing level, because I think now team has becoming more and more competitive and places are not taken for granted. In fact, right now we are discussing about Sunil Chetri. 2 years back we could not think of replacing him. Right now we can discuss that we should look for instead of Sunil Chetri. So places are for grabs. If you see Akash Mishra, Nikhil Pujari, players have come up, come up. So it's very difficult for people. Jackson Singh, Apuya is one of the finds for us in national team. The way he has played, I think he's one of the players who can play in the Asian league. If not the top tier league, I think he has that potential to play abroad. So where Thapa's performance has not been so great. So as correctly mentioned by Ogdeep, he's a good for box to box midfield, but I don't think Thapa starting tomorrow. I don't think Igor will play to him tomorrow.
Yeah, fair enough.
Arunavada, what do you think?
Yeah.
Rahul, you also?
Thapa to me sadly doesn't make it. For me, Thapa is nowhere near what you would hope and expect from a Thapa. I think that's the problem we have with Thapa at the moment. That an Anirudh Thapa is, again, the injury was a problem, and the other problem to me, he hasn't settled at Mohun Bagan. I think Mohun Bagan has been unable in their system to find the right spot for a player like Anirudh Thapa. So that is, I think, come together as sort of a thing that it has not, it's a high value transfer and all of that stuff. So let's see what happens.
Yep. Somalia again saying that probably the bench time is lowered his confidence, which is possible as well. I think for players when they're not playing regularly, you just feel like it's not happening for you. It's fair enough. Moving to the front three, guys. I mean, again, on Thapa, for me at least, I think there are better midfielders right now at this point in time for our national team than him, and that's just unfortunate for him. But yeah, that's where we are. Kumar Reddy saying Khela reports that Vikram Tap will be leading the line. What's your front three going to look like, guys? Coming to you, Shan, first. What do you think the front three is going to be?
See, I think what I think is something different what Igor thinks. So if you ask me what I think, so that is different. So I think Sunil should not start tomorrow. I would rather go with what Onauda said. I think that team is something that front three lineup. I think Manveer Singh in the middle. I think Manveer of late has scored goals for the Indian team, and he has always been that player who, if he's given the chance, he can convert. And I think in both the side, Changte, I think one of those would be there with me. And on the other side, I think most likely he would. What I feel I can say you that I think I would go with Changte's Vikram Pratap and Manveer. This would be my front three, if you ask me. But I think he will go with, or I can say what Igor will go with. Igor will most likely will go with Sunil Chetri, Vikram Pratap. I don't know how what I'm hearing now. He would go for Vikram Pratap, but I think Sunil will start for him. And rest positions, I don't know. Manveer can be dropped. I think can get Manveer in place of what he can go. I think this four, I think most likely will be there in that three positions, because more or less he has decided the team right by now. Why not Mahesh, huh? Dada, why you think Mahesh? Mahesh, where more Mahesh lacks physicality? You think?
Yeah,
That may be
I
a
think it
reason?
was exposed. I think Mahesh, especially against Syria, I felt that he couldn't, again, with all the technical abilities, that Mahesh is physically still too weak. He reminds me a lot regarding Changte about 6-7 years ago. Changte was also not physically as strong as he is now when he first came onto the scene. So I think that is something that some of these Indian boys who are not physically as strong as, let's say, a Jeekson or a Sandesh, or a Tangri, that they have to muscle up a little bit more if they want to be able to compete at the Asian level.
Correct. One thing, Rahul, one question people are here asking, why Nanda Kumar is not selected despite being the top scorer for the Indian national team. Your take, and Rahul, your take. Why you think he's not picked? What do you think?
I think for me, I know we spoke about it. I think when we were making the video for the squad as well, that we felt that I think, was one of those guys who probably should have been there but wasn't there. And Shan, I'm sure you're the East Bengal fan. You probably give us some more insight into how his performances have been this season as well. But yeah, I think that's just the trouble that we have in our national team. We have so many wingers. There's so much competition for places on the flanks that. Yeah, I think it's just down to preference in the end, unfortunately.
Yeah, I would agree on that point. I think the problem for Ananda or for other players is wingers is one position where we don't have a problem. We've got so many options. And again, something that no fan has said so far, but it's an interesting one, is that, for example, Udanta has not been picked. Seems to have been forgotten by a lot of people, right? But on the other side, I think the bigger thing for me is that I feel that Sana missing at the back, I think, is so therefore we'll that's, to me, is, I think, the most important thing on how we cover at the back, because Sana, to me, is one of the few quality centre backs who you can play at international level. So therefore, that's a weird one. But again, I think he has potential cover in Beke, and worst case also in Shubhashish Bose, that they can cover in that position.
Yeah, I think you're asking more than Listen Kolas. I don't think it's about Listen Kolas or another. That's just a problem we have with wingers. It's just, there are so many wingers on their day. Any of them could do well. They all have quality in them, and yeah, on a day if you play Isak from Odisha, even he could do well. We just have so many options, and it's crazy. But Shan, I'm sorry, but I just dropped out, so I want to know your front three again before I go to Arnava with his front three.
And I told Onauda and everybody that I would rather go with my preference will be Sunil, Changte, and Manveer. Igor will go, most likely we can go with that. But what I'm hearing now, Vikram Pratap will get a look in. I think Vikram Pratap, Sunil Chetri, and Manveer Singh. I think this could be the players I think he could look into.
Arnava, the front three.
Well, if I play Sunil as a 10, I
Then,
stick
yeah.
to my front three that I have Vikram on the left, Changte on the right, and Manveer as my central striker.
Yep. I think I would agree. I don't think that's. I would also love to see Sunil Chhetri in that sort of 10 role rather than him leading the line. And if that's the case, then yeah, that's the front three, I guess. Um, yes, guys. Again, Prasenjit again mentioning that Listen is a very effective player. That's the thing. Every white player has something about them. That's why they're there, and you get to
The,
use them.
the problem with all of them is, we go back to the point of consistency, right? And who can play at international level. We should not forget that Afghanistan for us will be a physical game, right? These guys, a lot of them born in Afghanistan, but fled the country as refugees or born in Europe or other parts of the world, Australia. So they will bring that physical aspect, and that's something I think that Ashley would have worked on, because the physical thing is something that India wasn't able to cope at the Asian Cup. It was one of the biggest problems for us when teams went physical to us, out muscled us. Where I remember a lot of people saying, "Arey, this is a foul, that's a foul," and to me, I felt that none of these guys are in a position to physically out muscle the opponent. That's I think something we need to work on, and that I think. Forget just the Asian Cup. I think that's also the example of Mumbai City in the Champions League. That these teams were sort of using that, and I think again Ashley has a lot of knowledge on these things that he can utilize.
Yep. Deepak Das, I think, mentions rightly, you just don't know if Liston's going to blow auto gold. I think that's the case for most fingers. You just don't know what you're going to get on the day. Changte was brilliant for us in a couple of games in the Asian Cup, but apart from that, we didn't get anything from our white players. So that's just that. And moving on to the under 23s, what are you expecting from this crop of under 23s? You've gotten a few interesting names in there. They've jetted out as well. What are you expecting from them?
See, firstly, I think after a long time, under 23 team is playing at least up rather than the AFC qualifiers and leave that apart. I don't think in 2008-19 when we played, I think Vikram was part of the team. When we defeated, when we played very good and we were not able to qualify. We were very, very unlucky. After that, you have seen our performance in under 20 in Asian Cup. In qualifiers, we were very disappointing. I think we had a very good chance against China, and in the way the brand of football we played was very pathetic. I would not say that the team didn't had that level of preparation to be there. I expect him to take it as a good time against Malaysia. I think it is a good learning process for many of the players. Many of the players have gotten a chance, so I expect them to do well, and it's a learning thing from them. And I would request Federation to organize more and more friendlies for this under 23 team. I think somehow I feel this under 23 team of Indian national team is somehow neglected in various ways. You see under 17 team playing, under 20 team playing, but I see after that the under 23 team there is no proper gap. Of late we have stopped playing under 23 level, and this is a good sign by Federation. At least they have arranged they will play in Malaysia. Let's see. I think more and more games are available for them.
Yeah. I know what Prabhshukan Gill, undisputed first choice.
Yeah, I mean he's a regular for East Bengal in the ISL, so therefore he's the one. Ashan Sheikh and Vishal Yadav are talented, but are number twos in their respective clubs with limited time this season. So therefore, for me, Prabhshukan is a clear shot start, and yeah, gets that position.
And Aman, just in general, what do you expect from this squad? Yeah.
It's again the point is that this team will have limited time together. Malaysia is preparing for the AFC Under 23 Asian Cup. So to expect something would be wrong. Let them play these two friendlies. I hope they play more friendlies than in June and then in the later windows in the year. And then we can expect results. I think expecting results at the moment is unrealistic with just 3-4 days. Therefore, give this team time, a chance, because there are some talented players who could potentially go on to play for the senior team or have been part of the senior team or should have been part of the senior team. But let's see. Talent is there, but I don't know how the cohesion amongst the squad will be against a settled side.
Shayan, are you worried because, like Arnava mentioned, it's hard to expect results from this side because they just they don't play together, and in such an environment, how do you even set expectations?
That's why I'm saying, no, we should not set any expectation. We should arrange few things for the players. I think under 23 team needs more and more preparation, more games together. That is the way only this team can improve. If we play a game after 20 months or 24 months, that doesn't help the cause. I think regularly, at least when the national team is playing, at least we should find out the under 23 team to develop this team. I think we need to do more and more, and that's the way our senior national team is not getting so much players, because if you see it's only because of the clubs right now, and you see we don't get that players what when we see under 17, we under 20 20 team of the international team, they at least play a few games. There are exposure camps, exposure tours, but under 23 team is something which we have actually forgotten. Previously, when Steven used to under 23 team, I used to know because he was taking care of both national team and under 23 team. And when Igor also came, Igor used to control both the teams. Right now, there has been a change. So let's see. I think coaches can also play a part. I think at least arranging friendlies, federation should chalk out plans to arrange more and more friendlies, because if we not play enough, I think players needs to time to get play well together, because they need that gelling time together. It requires some time. It can't come overnight. They require time. So I want more and more games to them.
Yeah, undisputed. I think there's a network issue on your end because it looks like everyone's network is clear actually on this on this viewing here.
Yeah.
Any replacement for Sahal? Biswajit is asking. I think Biswajit, we've already spoken about it. Sunil Chetri in the 10 is an option. Shan has mentioned Brandon potentially could play that role. So we've got a couple of options, and yeah, we've already discussed it. I know, but what is the road ahead for the under 23s? Because we can't keep doing this. It makes no sense, because Asian Games, you bring together some boys and you like disband them. And now you're bringing together some boys, disband them. How do we sort of sort this issue?
For us, I think we need to understand that we need to use the windows now. I think the under 23s should be like our B team, where we enable players who have played for us either at the youth level or players a player who's playing well to get an opportunity. Because I think the jump from being just a player in the ISL to being a national team player is just too big, especially for these younger players. So therefore, this is good experience, and these players also get to understand what it means to play internationally, right? Vikram, you don't need to explain it. He was under 16, under 19 captain, right? But there are players in the squad who've never played for India at any level. So for them to get to play under 23s, it's good exposure. It takes them to the next level. And then it is, the opportunity to get into the national team, because the jump into the national team is too strong. I think you need some level of international football experience to be able to play for the national team, because playing international football is different than playing club football.
So I think well said about that. Yeah, Saurabh asking we want to win the Champions League. They need a solid core group, but in India, one player played an unbelievable season, but the next season he was benched. I think Saurabh is trying to ask, how are we going to maintain a core group of players when we keep sort of chopping and changing? Do you think that happens, guys, first of all?
But that happens around the world. I mean, that's the most normal thing. I mean, a national team is not a trial and error thing. You try and get the best players to play, or players who've been performing for a long time and who are sort of players who have, played well with the national team. I always take this old example, my good old friend, Mr. Randy Singh, might have had a bad season at club, but whenever he put on an India shirt, Renedy was always one of the best players. And I always say 2011 Asian Cup is the best example. There was a lot of question asked about his performance, and especially in that Bahrain, where he should have gotten a goal and Sunil, so to say, and sneaked it in the end. That's an example. So the coach needs to realize which players can I bank on, and who are the players where I know that can play at international level. If I'm a good ISL player, that does not mean I can play at international level football. So even the best performance in the ISL does not mean you can play, because international football requires a few different things. Again, I've been talking about physicality, because if you see the players who've been having a very, very good seasons, they're all nippy wingers, all, small, skinny, thinny, not this solid wala tagra guys. So that's something, right? I mean, that's why the other day someone was telling me, oh, you know what, rather than looking at all these strikers, look at Ayush Chikara. And I said, yeah, interesting idea. Reminds me a little bit about Abhishek Yadav in the past, that this guy has height, has physicality, but also can play with the ball. So therefore, we need to find, the right players.
The right mix, yeah, absolutely. Talking about nippy wingers, Shan, I think best question for you: what have you made of Vishnu? Because I've been impressed, and what do you make of him?
No, he's a good player. Actually, he's a very good player. What Quadrat is also quite happy, and he was very excited when he got the first jersey in East Bengal color in the senior team. He's a very good player, but his work now he's in the national team due to his good performance in under-23 level. It's a good thing. I think one thing Piyush has correctly mentioned, the finishing needs to be worked on. And I think another thing Onamoda right now mentioned, I think physical factor. And that is also something which is very, very, very important for when you play international football. Because Onamoda, we will be knowing then when Bob Houghton used to pick players, he used to always say that physicality is very, very important in this international football. There were many good players who were good with the ball, but he used to always go with the player who could give a good fight with their physicality. I think that is more important. So Vishnu is playing good, but again, Onamoda correctly mentioned that we need physically built players. I think Jixon Singh, that's why I'm saying the Jixon Singh would be given a chance tomorrow. Players like those.
I take the example is that many coaches used to do. Bob Houghton used to do it in the past as well. He built Anwar Ali with Gauramangi as the centre back pairing. Yeah, and before that you had Mahesh Goli and Deepak Mondal, who to me, these two guys were better, but from a physical aspect, they were just too short, right? They were 5'7", 5'8". So that is something that these coaches, Islam Akhmedov built Gauramangi as part of his under-17 squad. So therefore, Karim Ben-Sharifa built Mangi as a player. And therefore, that's something that some of these coaches look at, that physicality is an important angle, which you should not forget. So therefore, you can be in an ISL level, you could be a great player, but playing international football, and I think the Asian Cup was a clear-cut proof, is a different thing, and experience does count. So therefore, these are factors that the coach will factor in.
Yeah, Arnav, do you want to just clarify this one as well? Mumbai got full points from Jamshedpur because Jay is thinking it's a mistake from the fourth official, but in truth, it's a mistake.
Again, Jay, you have a mistake. Every substitution that is done by a team is something that the team has to ensure that the substitutions are right. So it is not a question of fourth official. This was a mistake from Jamshedpur, and therefore Jamshedpur loses this game. Very simple. If you are putting an extra foreigner on, or you are, in certain leagues we've had the rules of having an under 23 or under 21 player. If you are not keeping those rules, you are breaking the rule as a team, and therefore the opponent gets the points.
Yep, sure. So it's perfectly well.
And also in this decision, FSDL has nothing to say with this. This goes to the AFF disciplinary committee.
Yes.
So very important. Get your thought process right in these things. Please be careful what you put out there.
Yep. Yeah.
The fourth official. It's not the job of the fourth official to check who is coming on. The teams have to fill in that slip, give it to the fourth official, to the match commissioner. Okay, fourth official checks if his kit is okay, if his inners are fine, if he's wearing any jewelry or something. That's his job. He doesn't check if there's a fourth foreigner or a fifth foreigner or I don't know, whatever other thing. That's the job of the team. It is not the job of the fourth official to ensure that the clubs are doing the right substitutions. It's the job of the club, of the respective club.
Yeah. Biswajit's question.
Fourth official job is very simple. He has to put up the board and he has to ensure that the two coaches stay in their coaching zone. And if something happens close to the byline, he's there to inform the main referee that something. That's any mistake that's happened or anything that he's seen. He's not there to ensure that the clubs do their substitutions right. This is a mistake of Jamshedpur FC, and they have. If you see their press release today, Jamshedpur FC have said, that it was our mistake, and we can only excuse ourselves for the mistakes in front of the fans, even in front of our own players and our own staff.
Yeah, fair enough. Mr. is asking about.
Sorry. Just to add to that, how am I wrong on the fourth official? Just to end this discussion, how am I wrong on the fourth official? Right? That's the rule of the fourth official. Then, my friend, read up the rules of what the job of the fourth official is. The fourth official is not here to check on the, then next thing they'll say, listen, don't get this substitute, tell the coach to put on someone else, right? That's not his job. His job is he's there to control the game. He's not to check, again, that everything is right, whoever's coming on or going off. But he's not there to help a team make a right substitution in the sense of, am I doing it wrong in regard to additional fourth foreigner or any other things in any other rules that are there? That's not his job.
Absolutely. And guys, just we've spoken about David. Biswajit is asking about David, was potentially not a starter, but could have been included in the squad. We've spoken about it. I think you just have to make it in the ISL. That's just anywhere in football you go. I think it's a pretty simple thing that you have to make it in the highest level possible in your country, and then we can potentially talk about and you entering the national team. But yeah, guys, want to take a predictions for tomorrow's game?
Just one thing to add, because there's certain names who are cropping up. I-League players also. There was a discussion that Igor said that the I-League also continues and it's moving towards its final leg. So he doesn't want to disrupt, so to say, that whole process. And if you see the number of attacking players that we have in this squad, of course, we potentially only have one real striker in Gurkirat. Maybe we can, if we're playing one striker, even Shiva Shakti or Parthiv could play, but they more like to play in a 2 or 3 man strike force. Therefore, I guess it's not so easy. Again, it's something, also the guys you're giving a chance, they need to be given a chance. And these guys are playing a little bit of a higher level than David. Therefore, these guys get picked ahead. And interesting also, the 2 boys who were picked from the Santosh Trophy, they're not part of the final squad. So that is also, and Irfan Yadwad also, who was also a striker, also has been dropped from the final squad.
Yeah, guys, I just want to take your, like I said, predictions. Shan, prediction for tomorrow? Yours?
Tomorrow I'm expecting 2-1, I think.
Okay. 2-1. Shan says. Anava? Again, I'm assuming in favor of India, Shan.
You can. I think obviously 2-1 in favor of India. I think 2-1 is I think we should beat this Afghanistan team away also. I think last time we were very lucky. I think Simon Dongle scored a goal last moment. I think 90th minute he scored a goal.
87th minute header after a corner.
So it was actually we were in a brink of losing that game. I think last time it was a different thing. I think this time we are in a better position. I think we should win this game. There's no reason we should not win this game.
Yeah. Anova?
Yeah, 2-1 or 1-2, however you want to say it. I think that's the result I think we need. We need to score and we need to win. Simple as that.
We need the points. Undisputed saying 3-1 India, Orange Gaming 3-0 to India. So yeah, it looks a little positive. It looks like most people are going for India wins, and hopefully you can get the job done away from home. against Afghanistan. Tomorrow, guys, we have a watch along plan. Please do join along if you can, and of course it's a late kickoff in India. We know it's 12:30 a.m. in the morning on the 22nd. So yeah, that is that. But it's going to be fun. These late night football games are the best, and yeah, hopefully you guys can join in. Thanks, Shine. Thanks, Arnav, for joining in today. Guys, please subscribe to all the channels. Post Khabri, Indian Food and Football, Arun Food, Curious Harry Hiren is not with us today as well. So yeah, please do like and share these videos, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Good night, everyone.
Good night. Good night. Good night from all of us. Good night.